darlings, what's up? It's Christy with AppSumo. Welcome and happy Thursday. Today I'm joined by Fasil from Ora. Welcome, happy to have you.
Hello, everyone.
He is the senior product designer, and he's going to take you on a tour of Ora. So if you're here, hopefully you already know what Ora is, but in the event that you don't, it's a cloud-based project workspace and task management app that helps keep teams organized and in sync. And it's on AppSumo right now for only $39. It is a very cool tool, guys. I feel like everyone needs a project management tool in your life, whether for business or personal. And so he's going to take you on a tour and show you exactly how you can use it for your business and or personal life, depending on what you do. If you've never seen one of our webinars before, right now you're seeing the two of us, but in a second, Fasil's going to take over and he's going to take you through a demo. In that time, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat box. I believe someone from Ora will be answering them in the chat box, but if not, I'm going to be coming back in at the end and asking some of the more popular questions that I see come through. So that way, all of your questions will be answered. If you can't stay until the end, that's okay too, because I'll be sending out a replay later today to all of you who have registered. So that way you can catch up on what you missed or just go back and rewatch it. We got lots of people already on right now, and they're already saying hello. So let's go ahead and make sure that your screen share is working, and I'll let you take it away.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm just going to jump straight into Ora here. And okay. So I'm assuming you're seeing my screen now.
Yes, we see a vortex right now, but I think once you go to Ora, it should be fine.
Okay. So this is like
oh, wait, no, we do not see your screen now. We just see black.
No? Oh, sorry. Let's see. How about now?
It usually takes a second. Yes, that's good. Perfect. Awesome. I'll let you take it away.
Okay, so this is a fresh account that I just created. And it already has registered. And I'm just going to go straight away and create a project. And for this, we're going to start simple, let's say, with the empty board. I'm just going to call it my project. I'm just going to choose an icon here and add some background. And I'm not going to invite anybody right now. I'm just going to create this project and go inside. And I'm going to create a list. So let's call this list daily tasks. And I'm going to go straight into it and create a task. So, for example, name it AppSumo demo, assign it to my account and say it's good day. And this is going to create my first task. So this is just a very simple project that it's using the Kanban board. I can create another list. So I can name this done. And then when I'm ready, I can move this task here to complete it. Like so. Of course, you can create a bit more complex projects. There were a lot of questions about, for example, how to set up a Scrum project. So let's just go ahead and create one from a template. So if you're not familiar with Scrum, it's a very good methodology for just getting things done in iterations. And this is going to have some lists already prepared. And I also have a views right here. So this has two views right now, a backlog view and a sprint view. So I can go ahead here and create, for example, let's call it something like login screen, and maybe what else? So I create some tasks in my backlog, right? So then what you do in Scrum is you give points to those tasks. You estimate them, like, for example, this is going to take 8 points, and then I can just jump to the next one, and it's going to take 13 points, and this is going to take 8 points, let's say. And you can also give business value to this. So, for example, there is a lot of value in making video tutorials, so let's give it a lot. I can assign a card from here. I can give it due date, let's say for today. I can also create some labels here. For example, this is going to be a priority. And this way I prepare my backlog. And once you prepare your backlog, then you can go and create a sprint. So this is going to be named sprint 1. And I'm going to choose all of this for this sprint. And we are now in the sprint. Ora has moved the cards inside the sprint view. So if you go to the backlog view, you'll see it's now empty. And the sprint view has 3 tasks. And now it says here that my sprint is 29 points. And I can go ahead and start the sprint. Now this is going to be a 2-week sprint with these 3 tasks, but it doesn't really matter. You can add as many tasks as you want, and you can also change the date, the start date and the end date of the sprint. So I can even edit this, and just let's say it's going to be this 5 days here. And also when you create a sprint, you select a list where done tasks are going to go. So for example, I have selected this shipped list here. And now let's say I complete this here, and I complete parts of these tasks. Let's say I complete 8 points out of 13, and let's say I complete these tasks. So usually this takes more time, for example, a week or 2 weeks, but let's finish this sprint. So now it says I have unfinished tasks, and where do I want to put these tasks? And it gives me 2 options, the 2 lists that are not completed lists, but I want to move them to another sprint. So I need to create a sprint first. I'll create sprint 2, and it gives me an option to select tasks, but I don't want to select any. And while I'm in sprint 1, I will go ahead and try to finish my sprint again. And this time it gives me sprint 2 as an option. So I will do this, and voila, we have our first sprint completed. So it gives me an option here to go into reports and review the sprint, but I'm going to show you this later. And now you can see that I have a task in sprint 2 already that is moved from sprint 1. And I have these 2 completed sprints in shipped, the list that we selected previously. So actually this kind of covers sprints. I mean, we now have team velocity of 24 points. This was the points that we completed. And when we plan our next sprint, we can put the right amount of work in here. Basically, this is sprints. I mean, you can go ahead and make a sprint review and select what was the name of this project, my app. And this will show me a sprint report. So this is not looking like very nice right now because we completed a lot of work in one day instead of a week. So it's not displaying very accurate data. But this here is showing what we did here. We committed 29 points and we completed 24. And when you make a lot of sprints, this will show you a larger chart here. Some other things that you can see are release burn downs, epic burn downs, and accumulated business value. Basically, I didn't use any milestones for this sprint, so this is empty, and I didn't use any epics, so this is empty as well. But if you use, it will show you how much you did on each iteration, on each sprint. So let's see what else we can do here. We are part of this organization here. This was actually a project in personal projects, but you can also be part of an organization. And if you bought the Absolute deal, then you're most probably part of one. So I'm going to jump straight here into this organization that this user is part from. And you see here, it has some projects here, and it has a folder. And folders in Ora are a great way to organize your projects. You can organize by client, or if you have a larger project and you break it down into smaller ones, you can say name the folder after the project. And folders are really easy to create. You just drag one project over another, and this will just open this dialog, and you can name a project, for example, let's say like this, and you can select a color for it. And this makes a folder from these two projects here. And then if you have existing project already, you can just drag it inside, and this keeps your projects very well organized. So we have another project here, our company's website. So here you can see that I have my entire team, and I have set up some lists in here that match my workflow. I have a sprint, all kinds of this stuff. And let's say you have a few projects that you want to see together. This is where our agenda view comes in handy. So I'll jump straight to the agenda and show you what's going on in there. So basically on the top, you have some filters. You select which members you want to see. For example, this right now is selecting all unassigned tasks and all my tasks. This is my profile here, Mike. And also which projects I want to see. So I want to see only tasks from the company's website, and let's say from the client project. And in Ora, there are task states. So for example, open tasks are tasks that like the default state, but there are also frozen tasks, review tasks, and closed tasks. So I can select all of them for now, but this is very handy if you want to filter, like for example, completed tasks, or if you have some tasks that you're going to do in, like, let's say 2 or 3 months, you can make those tasks frozen and then unselect them like this. And this is the inbox where tasks that are not scheduled go, and you can also group this by assignee. So let's get everyone in here actually. So you can group tasks by assignee here, for example, and you can also group by project. So this is going to show me some tasks here. Okay, let's remove the closed task. I don't know what is that. So let's say you have this task selected and you want to schedule. You just right click on the task and you say this is due for today. And let's say this is due for today also. And then you can go to your Today tab, for example, and you can start focusing on what matters. So I can, for example, start working on this logo. It was actually assigned to another user, but once I started tracking time, it assigned me as well. And you can see here inside the task that I'm not now tracking time. And tracking time is a very nice way to know how much work you have done on a particular task and a particular project, and also for freelancers and outsourcing companies and many companies actually, they work by the hour, so it's very handy to track time this way. And you can actually add time manually. You don't have to use the tracker, the tracker widget. You can just add time from here, let's say 4 hours, for example, and you add it like this. And so I worked like 4 hours on the logo, let's say. And right now, let's say we are done for today and we have to reschedule these tasks because there is not going to be enough time to complete them. So you can go in one of the other views, but for example, this one is very handy because it shows each task in different from the next 7 days, like a Kanban board. So I can just grab this and I can put it, let's say not during the weekend, but let's say in Monday. And this way I reschedule this task for Monday. You can see that the due date now is Monday. And let's say I completed this, so check it, and it actually got to review. Review tasks are, there are review states in Ora. So for example, if you enable this, and if you complete that task, somebody has to check it if it's really ready. Let's say a client or a QA or somebody that do that, and he can go ahead here and, for example, he can select all the review tasks like so and know which tasks to review. There is also a calendar here. So, for example, I can drag tasks here like so, and also in all of these views I can create tasks. So let's say for today I want to finish this demo. I create it like so. And when you're creating a task, it allows you to choose different projects here and different lists. And what else should I show you? The reports page, for example. So I'm going to select all the components projects here and go to track time, wait for it to load. And here we have some tracked time reports. So this is very like a demo account. So as you see, it's not working every day, just when making some demos, I guess. But you can see, for example, who was tracking this, and you can see also what was it worked on. So this on the top, you can just stack by different attributes like that. So let's say what task type, or it was feature, what label. We have here, you can see which labels was it, from which project. This is actually important. And you can filter, of course, I can filter like this and see only my tasks that I worked on. So it was only the logo from today. I didn't do anything else. There is also task progress, but as well, this is empty. So this basically shows you created tasks versus review tasks versus closed tasks. So what this can show you is, for example, that here on the 9th, somebody created like 41 tasks, and then here 5 tasks were closed. And this is very useful when you want to know if you're for example, creating a new tasks more than you're completing them, and other useful information like that. You can drill down here and see which exact tasks were worked on, and you can also click here and open a task as well. So there are a lot of things inside the task. For example, you can also comment here and add some emojis like so, and let's show some other things inside the task. So this is back the company project, and let's go here and see what else we can do. So for example, I can set a task relationship here. Let's say this task is connected to, is blocked by this blog post illustration. There are other types of relationships, like for example, let's say this one is related to video preview. And once a task is blocked like this, this user, for example, is going to receive a notification that he needs to complete this task. Who is this user? Let's see, Vicky. Okay, Vicky will receive this notification, and she will know she now has to complete these tasks because it's blocking another one. And once this task is completed, then not me actually, but the user who is assigned to this task, Emma is going to receive notification that the blog post illustration was completed, so she can now start work on this. And also you can create a checklist. So checklists are like a really cool way to add steps to the task that you need to do. And what else? You can vote for a task. So for example, if you have a public board setup, or basically public board, I guess, you can allow people to vote for a task just like our own public board that we have. And also you can set a recurring task, for example. So let's say this I want to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every 2 weeks. So I will just set it up like this, and it is going to copy this card in the dates that I selected. You can also set a milestone, so it could be anything really that is important and you want to group tasks by. So this is something like a version here, 1.01. You can select a sprint from here as well, so I can put this in current or future sprints. And what else? So filters are very useful actually. So for example, I can click on any of these guys here and just filter by this particular user. Or I can go here and filter by, for example, a milestone. Or I can just type something, for example, cookies. It's going to bring this task. There is another way you can go to a task fast. You can press J, and this is going to open the jump tool. And you can just say video and hit enter. It is going to open this task really fast. So what else can you do here? You can actually multiple select things. So for example, let's say I want to do changes to these 3 things. I want to add a label to all of them. So I can do this like this. And these labels are now in this small state, but if I click on them, it becomes bigger and readable. So let's see what other projects we have seen here. So this is another project, and I don't think I show you a list. So basically, this is a Kanban view, but you can also see each project in a list view. And this is just showing one list at the moment in a little bit different way, like a checklist. So if this is the way you prefer to work, it's there, and you can just go ahead and check things from here. And so I'm sure I skipped a lot of things that I forgot to show you right now. There are a lot of other stuff, but let me just ask my friends here. Did I forget something?
The users want to see views, observers.
Okay, views, observers. I don't see the chat, so you can tell me
okay.
if there's things like that. So let's see how you make views. So let's say you jump here in this project and you want to. So yeah, this is a good example because you see there are a lot of lists here, and let's say you want to split this into two lists. So to make any changes to the project, you click here on this project settings menu, and you go into project settings. And from here you can go to add-ons, and this is basically allowing you to customize your project. So you can disable the list view, for example, if you don't want to see it. You can disable this pipeline workflow, or you can enable sprints from here. You can enable story points. Not even if your project is not a Scrum project, you may want to use story points, so you can. And here we have views. So we just enable views like this, and it's going to show this inside this menu, views. And from here, you can manage your different views. And views are basically just a collection of lists within the same project. So let's say I want to make a new view, and this is showing me the current view that we have. I just drag a list into here, and it's created a new view for me. And I'm going to name this view, for example, done. And let's say a review is going to be here as well. So now that when I go back to the project, I have these views on top, and I can easily switch between them by clicking so. And you can see that you just have these two lists that I selected now are here, and the rest of the lists are in the first view that was initially available. So how do you add observers or members? You can add members from here, and to add observers, you have to go to project settings, members. And from here, it allows me to select some known people here that are probably in other projects in this organization. So let's add as observer John, for example. And I don't know what happens. Okay, perhaps I can't add John. What about Nicholas? No. Anyways, let's just change some of the members to observer, and we will investigate this later. So you can change anybody from normal to admin or to observer. So I actually have Okay. So this is how you add observers. Yeah, I can show you what observers see, but it's basically the same thing that I can see. The only difference is they will not be able to add tasks and move tasks like so, and they're basically limited users. Actually, they cannot task if you, for example, allow them to. So let's say I want to allow them to add tasks in a list, and you go to preferences, and this option here, allow observers to add tasks, and you allow them to add tasks to a specific list like so. So I allow them to add tasks in Icebox. And this means observers will not now see this add card here, and we will be able to add a card the same way you can. And by the way, this can be expanded. So if I want to add a title and some description, and even I can add some attachments by just dragging and dropping them in here. I can do so, and the observer can do so as well. And he will also be able to add a due date if you allow him. So he can just say task is due tomorrow. And this will create a task, and it will upload the image inside. And here is it. What other questions are there?
I have several questions for you if you want to get started on those.
Okay, let's do it. Should I continue with showing my screen, or?
Yeah, you can keep it just in case you have to show something to answer one of the questions. Okay. All right, let's see. So Mike wanted to know, can we add notes to the daily tasks list?
Well, I mean, he means the agenda, I guess. Well, you can add notes inside a task if you want. So you cannot add notes here, but you can add them in a task, like, I don't know, like so.
Okay, awesome. And Franconia would like to know, how many licenses will I need if I have a team of 2 or a team of 5?
So for a team of 2, that's 1 license, I guess, and a team of 5, that would be 3 licenses.
Okay, great. And so Mark is asking, you showed a great example of using this for a Scrum process, but is it useful if you don't use Scrum? We actually had several people in the chat box who had no idea what Scrum or Sprint was. So is this still useful if you're not using the Scrum method?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can create any type of project, basically. When you go here and you create a project, it shows you some simple examples for marketing, for event planning, editorial, for software, for business. Basically, everything that can be organized in lists, you can do. So let's say you're doing traditional project management. There is a template for that. I don't know what's inside. But we can go check. And so yeah, this is going to create this list for you, but you can create your own lists. You don't need to stick to any template. So you can just create my list in here and find the way that works for you.
Awesome, yeah, that's a great example. And so someone wanted to know, can clients upload files to projects?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I showed you just they can just find a file and drag it here inside the new task that they're creating. As I said, you can allow the observers or clients to add tasks in one list in your project. So if you allow them to do so, they can upload files as well. And once they create this, they will be able to edit inside as well. So for example, if I am now an observer and I create this task and I add this attachment, I can open it and I can do all sorts of things inside. For example, I can create checklists, I can add labels, I can change the due date, but only in the task that I created as a client. So again, there is some limitations, but you can still accomplish a lot with this as an observer.
Okay, good. And Maria is asking, is there a way to keep the timer running when the computer goes to sleep? I find that I lose that time when I walk away, like if I'm on a phone call.
Well, I think right now the timers of the web version don't stop by their self, and maybe on the app when you close your laptop, it will stop the timer. But that's just because we made it like this so that you don't track more than you wanted. I guess we can add some options for that. We can allow the user to decide if he wants to keep the timers running or stop them or whatever.
Okay, good. Nice suggestion then. And let's see, Jamie's asking, can you get tasks created in Ora directly from like an email or a browser bar extension?
Well, right now you can't, except maybe with Zapier. We have a Zapier integration that you can set up with Gmail or other email clients that have Zapier, and then I guess you can do that. But there were a lot of requests for tasks from email, so we're going to add this very soon, in a month maybe, or I don't know. I don't want to promise exactly when, but very soon.
Awesome. And so Henry's asking, can we create templates? For example, if you have the same actions for different clients, can you just kind of create a template that you can use for each client?
Absolutely. It's very easy to create a template. I will just show you. So let's say this is the project that I want to create a template from. I just click here on the dots. I click Save as Template, and I just give it some name. For example, my template, and let's say my template text to be recognizable. You can select some image for it. And you can also decide if this is a personal template or a company template. And this will either keep it personal that only you can see it, or share it with your team. So let's say we want to share it with the team. And I created a template. So right now, if I click here on New Project, I should be able to see my template. And I see my organization, and this is my template. So it's very easy.
Awesome. And Randy would like to know, are there any plans for a mobile app?
Yes, we're actually working on the mobile app, and there is not a lot of it remaining. So I'm very optimistic that somewhere around 2 months is going to be ready both for Android and iOS.
Okay, awesome. So actually, just to come back to the templates really quick, so we have someone asking, let's see, we have Ben asking, can that template include dynamically scheduled tasks? Like once you create, you know, a new process from a template, you know, let's say tasks are due 2 days from then, or a week from then, or 2 weeks from then. Can those dynamically be changed?
I have to ask, can we do that?
No, recurring tasks are not copied.
So right now, the recurring tasks are not copied. So basically, this is not possible. But we can maybe add it as a feature request and do something like that in the future.
Okay. Mark wanted to know, is there a Gantt chart view?
So there's going to be a timeline, and I think a lot of people have seen it in the demo. and it's almost ready. So somewhere between 2 or 4 weeks, it's going to be ready and available for everyone. I can show you, I think, a little preview here, but I'm not sure how to share this. Okay, let's try. To show. Okay. So just want to see a video of. So are you seeing it right now?
Right now we are. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Something's happening. I only see a black screen.
A black screen.
Yes. Oh wait, no. Now we see it.
Okay, this is just a video that's showing basically a beta version of the timeline.
Okay, awesome.
And, but basically, yeah, you can schedule tasks in here by dropping them from your backlog, and it works similar to the agenda view. You can filter by members, by projects and states. You can split schedule like so. You can assign hours and change the colors into assignee. So, for example, we're going to allow you to set how much a day you can assign work for, and let's say 7 hours, and then we're going to check if you have assigned more than 7 hours on different tasks for each member of your team, and we're going to show you like a red warning when you do that, and that's basically how it looks.
Awesome. Do you have any plans to include invoicing?
Yeah, I mean, we have this from a long ago, budgeting and invoicing, and I cannot say I cannot give you an ETA of it, but it's planned to add it.
Good enough. And the last question that I have is Andrew wanted to know, can you import Trello boards?
Absolutely. Actually, we can import from Trello, Asana, and GitHub. Let me just share my screen again and show you how it works. So do you see my screen?
I think so. It usually takes a few seconds on my end.
Okay.
Yes, I can see it now.
So when you go ahead here in this create menu, you can just click import, and this will show you Asana, Trello, and GitHub. And we are working on others as well. We're working on Jira import, Basecamp, and so on. And this is going to actually, I cannot show you from this demo account, but basically it shows you all your Trello projects, and you just click on which one you want to import, and you import it.
Awesome. Great. And I believe you already showed this, but Mark wants to know if there's a calendar view.
Yeah, this is it. Is it? Do you see it?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so the calendar view is actually very cool because you can switch off the weekends if you're not working the weekends, and you can close the sidebar, and you can hide your inbox. For example, inbox are unscheduled tasks, and this will give you a very large area visible for you to work. And you can change the months from here and all kinds of other things like this.
Awesome. Now, can someone use this offline?
Offline, you can. I mean, we are working on offline, like true offline mode for this app, for the desktop app. And right now there is partial offline mode. So, for example, if you have previously opened any projects, for example, like this, and I actually during this preview I opened a lot of projects. So if I cut my internet right now, I'm going to have everything saved. And even if I close the app and I open it again, I will be able to see everything here. The thing that is not ready yet is when you take an action, it will not show it. For example, if I create a task, it will actually work, but it will not show this card here until you reconnect to internet. And this is what we are planning to add soon, in maybe a few weeks. We're going to add these actions during when you're offline. So creating tasks, moving tasks around. Actually, moving tasks will be working. So just we have to finish some things so it has a true offline mode.
Okay, and what about is there an integration with Google Calendar?
Yes, actually, you can integrate an entire project with Google Calendar, or you can integrate your personal tasks. So if you go here in integrations, you can see this is our most popular one with Slack. Basically, everything that happens in the project is goes into a specific channel in Slack. We also have a very powerful GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab integrations. And right now, over here, you can see the Google Calendar. And this will allow you to choose an existing calendar to sync with, or create new ones. I think it's better to create a new one with the same name of the project. And let me just switch accounts here so I can show you my personal account. So this here is our project, which is a very big one. You can ask me another question. I think I answered.
Yeah, sure. So someone is asking, can you show how subtasks are created and what they look like?
What do you mean?
That's a great question. LB, if you want to sort of elaborate, let's see. Let me see if there was another question about the subtasks. Steven said, can he show subtasks again and how they show up in the Kanban view?
Okay, subtasks in the Kanban view. Actually, I can show you. They don't show in the card, so they only show inside the card right now. They don't show. So let's see this project, for example, and see if there is some subtasks in there. So
and as you're looking for that, someone asked, can time be tracked per subtask or only at a task level?
Well, you can track on the checklist item. You can track on the task, and the subtask is just a regular task in Ora, so you can track on it as well. So, but I can even track on checklist item, like click on start, and it will start tracking on this checklist item. And also about tracking time, there is something I didn't show you. You can add notes. So, for example, if I add 1 hour here, I can add a note here saying they did that or whatever you did. And you can also add a label. So let's say you are working on design, and this is a brand new feature, so it's not yet reflected in our reports, but we're going to update the reports to reflect the time labels. So you'll be able to see what you did by a time label. So how much you did design, marketing, and etc. And let me just show you subtasks. So because I kind of forgot about that. So let's say this task is a parent of this one, and this is going to add it here as a subtask. And I can create another subtask from here. So, and this is also going to be updated soon to a slightly more checklist-like version with the checkbox and everything like that. From here, you can open these tasks, and they're just regular tasks. As you can see, this subtasks is a normal task, and you can do everything inside it.
Okay, good. Now let's see. So can you please show where the dependencies are again, as I cannot locate them on my system?
Oh, actually, that was a dependency. So let me just go ahead and show you again. So you click here and you set the type of the dependency. So it's blocked by, blocks related, duplicated, parent, child. And the parent child, they're making adding subtasks in this task, and the other ones are explained already about blocking and blocked tasks. But yeah, this is how you set these relationships.
Awesome, good. Okay, so those are all the questions that I had, and for the sake of time, why don't we sort of end here? But I would love it if you could let these guys know where they could reach out to you if they have any questions after the webinar.
Well, they can write our support. We actually wrote with a lot of guys from AppSumo and had some great talks and received a lot of good feedback and lots of requests. So if I have written with somebody of you, hi, I'm Steve.
Awesome. So is there an email, or it's just support on the website?
Yeah, the support widget, actually, I'm just going to show you. You click here on this question mark and you click on get support. And this is going to show you some documentations about Ora, and also how you ask us a question. And sometimes we're available for live chat, sometimes we are not, and you can just say hi and ask your question here and press and send message. This awesome. Is the way to contact us.
Okay, good. And I would also recommend that you guys head on over to the deal page and read some of the questions that have already been answered on the deal page too, because there are lots of them, and they're very helpful. So guys, thank you again for doing this. This was a very thorough demo, and looks like people are pretty psyched about it in the chat box. So if you haven't already, head on over to AppSumo and get Ora. And as I promised, I'll be sending out a replay of this webinar later today. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.